It's been a scorcher here in Music City. Nashville SC had back-to-back wins, debuted the Nashville Nostalgia Kit, have All-Stars Week this week, and playing against San Diego FC. Let's get started. We are back. Will, it's so good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. Welcome back. Good to see you. Excited to talk some boys in gold, 6-point week. There's a lot to like about this team right now.
Yep. Well, let's get started. Let's take a look at Nashville SC versus Columbus Crew. What were your initial reactions to that match?
Initial take was a little bit of a change from BJ Callahan's system. And I think we saw a Nashville team that was a bit more content not to have possession than what we've normally seen this season. Nashville still wants to have that same mindset, the same attacking mentality, being difficult to play against. Everyone attack, everyone defends. But I thought BJ Callahan made one big change that worked. It was defending in a 4-3-3. We've not seen Nashville do that a ton this season. We've seen them go to it at times for phases of play. But BJ Callahan spoke with us before the Toronto match on Friday about it and said there were some lessons that he and the coaching staff took from the first game against Columbus and just the way Columbus was building out. And I think the versatility of Liv and Will, I know a guy that creates the first goal, doesn't technically get on the score sheet with Sean Zawadzki's own goal, but a guy that really was a big piece of this game. The versatility to be a winger, but also a little bit of a midfielder and left-sided midfielder in this game was really, really important. I thought the tweaks by BJ Callahan were right on the money in building out or keeping a Columbus team from building out that has more possession than anyone per 90 in MLS this year.
You brought up a key phrase that I wanted to bring up in the press conference. Coach BJ Callahan said that every player attacks, every player defends. Can you talk to us about how that played out in these matches? Yeah,
I think you see in transitional moments, whether it is Andy Nahar with a long ball over the top to Sam Surridge that starts the second goal, or Andy and Dan both, just the fullbacks specifically, Liv, have done such a good job of understanding the different ways they can impact the game in the offensive end. So sometimes that is a long ball over the top. Sometimes it's dribbling between the lines. Sometimes it's not getting forward and understanding, hey, who's around me? Are both of my central midfielders up? Is this a moment I need to hang back and relieve some pressure? But we saw it on that all-star special goal. I mean, that goal was smothered, scattered, and covered, okay? We're from Andy Nahar, from Hani Mukhtar, and from Sam Surridge. If you know, you know. And, I mean, it's incredible. BJ Callahan mentioned it. The thing he loves the most about Andy Nahar is he can play between the lines. He can dribble around a player. He can play 1-2s. Or he can uncork a 60-yard rocket over the top of the back line. But credit to Hani Mukhtar, who gets the goal on here, just being faster than the rest of the Columbus back line, beating them down the pitch. I mean, those three All-Stars did such a good job on that goal, and Nashville's defenders have just played a huge role in the attack being so prolific this season.
They did. Speaking of defenders, this was a big storyline on Saturday's match. Walker Zimmerman and Jason Palacios started at the same time for the first time. What did you see in that connection that played well on the field?
Yeah, I thought it worked out really well, and I thought against a Toronto team on Saturday that has two of the best aerial duel winners at center back in MLS, you get the extra aerial ability with both of those two guys. So BJ Callahan, Mike Jacobs, the club, they liked Jason Palacios' profile because it was another combative aerial duel winning center back. Sigurd Rosted and Kevin Long are two of the best center backs in the air of anyone in MLS. So for a game against Toronto, a team coming in looking to defend a lot, not have as much of the possession, make it dirty, grimy, a slow-paced game, one set piece, one free kick, one corner kick where one of those center backs rises highest, and that could be the difference in this game. It could be the difference in 3 points. And Nashville wins 1-0. So obviously one goal for Toronto would have certainly impacted the way this game was played late. But it's more than just that. I think with Jason especially, his ability to play line-breaking passes has been such a big benefit. He's one of the most accurate long passers on this team, leading the team right up there in the top with Jack Mayer, with Gaston Brugman, and accurate long balls per 90 minutes. So it's that part of it I think BJ Callahan, we talk about everyone attacks, everyone defends. He wants his center backs being attack-minded and stepping up into the midfield lines. And I think that's where you see Jason really thriving. And of course, we know what Walker is. We know how good these center halves are at the defending part of things, but also just understanding a new role this season. They've taken to it so well.
Right. They have turned Geodis Park from a castle into a fortress.
That's right.
They've become this wall that has been tough to beat down. They have been just the center of an important part of our defense.
They have, and I'll tell you what, for all of the goal scoring that we've had, and for BJ Callahan's goal preseason of 50 goals, this defense is still right up there with the best in MLS. I mean, second best in the Eastern Conference at this point, 4 clean sheets out of the last 5 games. You talk about who Nashville SC is, and yes, the attacking flowers are going to be given to Sam Surridge because he's tied with a guy named Messi at the top of the Golden Boot race, as they should, and Hani Mukhtar, what he's doing as well. But we can't forget about these defenders and these center backs that are terrific this season as well.
And Joe Willis.
Yeah,
Joe
my
Willis
gosh.
has been amazing this
76 career MLS regular season clean sheets, his 301st appearance over the weekend, 300 on Wednesday. It is just something we can't take for granted. And what Joe has been able to do with the #1 shirt on now for his 6th season here in Nashville, he's just been so consistent and such a good piece of this team.
Absolutely. There was certainly a magic in the air. Well, the boys in gold went from the boys in gold to the boys in denim.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the Nashville Nostalgia Kit?
I loved it. The denim, I always wait to judge a jersey until I see it in the field of play, right? Like sometimes you see, and I liked these from the beginning as well, but it's not fair to really know what a jersey looks like until you see it, you know, in a blur from one side of the field to the other on a counterattack and in a lot of these moments. But I thought the denim came through really well in the just from the cameras, from the broadcast here in the stadium, for the broadcast booth. I thought it looked really good, and of course the two-tone blue, you know, native Nashvilleian and loving football in this city forever too. Nice to have a little bit of that and pay homage to another team that came to Nashville in the '90s, and the Tennessee Titans.
I think the jorts add a lot of magic.
Yeah, the boys in denim, right? Like they truly, if anybody can pull off denim shorts and jorts for a soccer team, it's Nashville.
Yes, that's right. Well, Nashville's been bringing the heat here to Geodis Park. They're also representing in Austin for All-Star Week. What does that say about this team?
Yeah, I think it says Nashville is right up there with the best, right? It's what the table tells us. It's what the All-Star team is telling us. And I think it says, too, you really have 2 attackers, 1 defender. I think you've got the front runner for MLS Defender of the Year so far this season, and Andy Nahar, who becomes the 2nd Nashville player ever to have a 10-assist season, joining Hani Mukhtar with his efforts last week against the Columbus Crew. But it shows what the renewed mindset of Nashville soccer really is. And it shows, too, I think you kind of get the original in Hani Mukhtar. You get Sam Surridge, who's kind of got his foot a little bit in both camps, and then you get someone brand new in Andy Nahar, who's just here for his first season. So I think in a lot of ways it is kind of cool. All 3 of those guys have a different story of how long they've been in Nashville, what their evolutions as Nashville players have really been like. But I'm so excited for Andy Nahar, especially. Obviously, we talk so much about Hani and so much about Sam, but for Andy to have the season he's had, it has been a product of a lot of hard work. It's been a product of him really keeping his body and his fitness at tip-top shape to be able to go in and week out, and 2 more long matches on this field over the weekend as well. You're just so happy for those guys and great representatives for this league.
Absolutely. I know that there's no such thing as, the one player that carries it all, but I definitely do think that Andy Nahar is the unsung hero of this team. He's really put in the grind. He's kept his head down, put in the work. Yeah. But the togetherness of this team is definitely represented in this All-Star Week, and I'm so thankful to be able to be a part of the team that provides this talent, provides this skill. Is there anything that you're most looking forward to challenge-wise? Oh,
Sam Surridge in the skills challenge, absolutely. I mean, we've had some pretty big names be in the skill challenge the past couple of years, and Nashville is right up there above the table of some of those guys who may used to play at Barcelona. But I think Sam being able to just have a little bit of fun, and those guys just relax, right? Have a little bit of a break. I know it's going to be a very quick turnaround to Friday night that we'll talk about in a minute, but the skills challenge I always think is so cool because I couldn't like throw a ball and have it be as accurate as they can with their feet or with their heads. It's mind-blowing. It's good stuff.
It really is. I mean, it shows their hard work, right?
Yeah,
So they're not just doing this all day. When they're at practice, they are refining these skills that allow them to be this successful on the field.
Some intense games of soccer tennis played between a lot of these guys, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, taking a look at this Friday's match, not Saturday, this Friday's match at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, Nashville SC heads to San Diego. This is the first time that these two teams are ever matching up. San Diego being an expansion team, what are you looking at for the first time?
Yeah, I think it is tricky to know a lot about this game because both teams have 3 All-Stars. So I think starting there, we talked with BJ Callahan about those challenges this week. Both teams will get their players back on Thursday and then have one day to prepare and just go again. So to be honest with you, Liv, if you're going to play anyone on 2 days after the All-Star game, it's a positive you're playing another team that has 3 All-Stars. And the 2 up front, especially for San Diego. Andres Dreyer and Chucky Lozano have been unbelievable. Dreyer right up there with Sam Surridge, Hani Mukhtar, and Lionel Messi in the MVP race. I would say it's probably those 4, and then it's just everyone else in MLS this season for the MVP race. And I think that's the battle you really want to watch. Dreyer has been so dynamic. Chucky Lozano, the speed, the pace. But a San Diego team that has had some challenges over the past couple of games, the loss they took at home. So difficult place to play. That is a soccer city really quickly. Obviously was before MLS came to town, but that is a fan base that feels like they've been in MLS for a long time. So you know you're walking into a really tricky environment, a big match, but Lozano and Dreyer, interested to see how involved they can be in addition to Nashville's All-Stars.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you can tune in this Friday on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or listen with our friends on 104.5 The Zone at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. Thanks for watching Spotlight.